Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. In the 16th video, I would like to explain about the 12th skill in the structure and written expression. It says, use an adjective clause connector or subject correctly. This skill discusses about how to use an adjective clause connector, just like the previous one, even though this time would be a little bit different. Skill sebelumnya membahas tentang penggunaan kata penghubung di dalam adjective clause. Namun kali ini, kata penghubung yang akan dibahas bukan hanya sebagai kata penghubung. It is different because of the connector is being the connector and the subject of the clause at the same time. It means that the connector and the subject is one word. It is shown that there is a sentence that contains two clauses here, and it can be seen too by seeing the connector. Klausa pertama di kalimat ini adalah the woman is filling the glass. An independent clause starts the sentence, and it is continued by the second clause and uses a connector in the middle of the clauses. Since a connector is used to combine two clauses, then if you find a connector, there should be two clauses in the sentence. The sentence uses that as the connector, and it is mentioned right after a noun, which is the object of the first clause, the glass. Hal ini menunjukkan bahwa dependent clause kalimat tersebut adalah adjective clause. It is explained that the position of the glass is on the table, just like it is mentioned in the second clause. Seperti yang sudah disampaikan sebelumnya, connector dari adjective clause dapat digunakan juga sebagai subjek dari adjective clause tersebut. It makes the subject of the adjective clause become having the same noun as the noun that is explained by this adjective clause. So, it has the same meaning with the woman is filling the glass that the glass is on the table. In this kind of a sentence, it can be seen that the connector is mentioned before the first clause ends. It is because of the second clause is used to explain the subject of first clause, that is the glass. Seperti halnya penggunaan adjective clause lainnya, klausa kali ini juga digunakan untuk menjelaskan sebuah noun, dan klausa tersebut juga terletak setelah kata noun yang dijelaskan. As it is explained previously, the difference in the skill is at the connector is the same word for the subject of the adjective clause. It is shown that the adjective clause that explains the glass is that is on the table. If you know that the connector must be that, then you don't have to be confused because after that it is directly mentioned the verb is. Hal ini terjadi karena subjek dari klausa tersebut juga that, yang juga berdiri sebagai kata penghubung. Based on the item, there is a sentence that we don't know yet whether it has one or two clauses. Then, how do we identify that? You can find it out by seeing how many subject and verb the sentence has. Apabila dilihat dari soal yang sudah tersedia, terdapat kalimat yang belum lengkap yaitu is on the table has 4 sections. It can be seen that we don't have any subject since before that incomplete sentence, there is a blank space. Then it might be put there. If we identify the verb, we have is and also has there. It already shows that there will be 2 clauses because of we have 2 verbs in that sentence. Maka yang dibutuhkan dalam kalimat ini selain kedua subjek untuk kedua klausa, kata penghubung juga dibutuhkan untuk menggabungkan kedua klausa tersebut. Maka jawaban paling tepat adalah B, yaitu the notebook which. the notebook sebagai subjek, dan juga which sebagai kata penghubung dari kedua klausa tersebut, serta sebagai subjek dari adjective clause yang terletak setelah kata the notebook. To make it clearer, it is elaborated in the illustrated below. Subject and verb of the first clause or independent clause are separated by the ejective clause. Even though they are separated, it still can be identified since the connector can be seen clearly. Technically, the words for the ejective clause connectors are the same as the previous material. Who is for the people, which is for the thing, and that is able to be used to both categories. Technically, the words for the ejective clause connectors are the same as the previous material. Who is for the people, which is for the thing, and that is able to be used to both categories. The difference is those connectors are able to be used as the subject of the adjective clause as well in the same time. Hal ini dapat digunakan apabila noun yang dijelaskan oleh adjective clause juga merupakan subjek dari adjective clause tersebut. Based on the sentence on the second line, it clearly shows that the noun which is explained is the secretary. It can be concluded that way because of the adjective clause is mentioned right after that noun. Maka yang dimaksud dalam kalimat tersebut adalah dia membutuhkan sekretaris yang mengetik dengan cepat. Begitu juga contoh kalimat yang ada di baris bawah. Subject a secretary tidak berdampingan langsung dengan verb dari subjek tersebut karena subjek tersebut dijelaskan oleh sebuah adjective clause. Then the verb of the first clause or independent clause can be mentioned after the adjective clause ends. Let's exercising. In this incomplete sentence, we can see that each clause already has its own subject and verb. It means we don't need any subject and verb. Untuk mencari tahu apa yang dibutuhkan di kalimat ini, silakan dilihat kembali pada bagian yang kosong. Right after the blank space, there is the connector who. It shows that the answer has to be a person. Then B is a wrong answer. If we see option C, there is only a name Rina there. Meanwhile, right before the blank space, there is a verb both. It makes option C is impossible to be chosen. Maka jawaban yang paling tepat adalah A cake for Rina. Okay, that's all about how to use adjective clause connectors or subject correctly. Thank you and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.